Hi Reject Nation, it's Greg Alba here.
And I'm Jonald Humphrey.
We are going to watch today Top 10 Movies You Missed This Summer 2018. This comes from WatchMojo.com, you know, the most beloved channel in the world right now.
Andrew Hayes Patronage.
One of our reward tiers on Patreon is whatever video request we must definitely cover and put up on the YouTubes. And today comes from Andrew Hayes.
Hey.
Fantastic, man. He's been on this channel. He's a lovely, lovely, tall gentleman. He has an awesome YouTube channel as well. You should go check out his movie review, guys. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Let's get into it.
Summer isn't completely full of dinosaurs and superheroes after all. Welcome to WatchMojo.com.
Guess not.
And today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies
I bet you I saw two of these.
I bet you I wanted to see a
Before we
lot
begin,
of these.
we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at movies that were released to theaters between June and August 2018 that received big-time critical acclaim, but which were largely ignored by the general movie-going public.
Let's just do our thing.
What thing? We've never done this before.
Number 10, The Miseducation of Cameron Post.
Nope, never heard of
a
it.
gay teen who's sent to
Oh,
a
it's your
religious
girl.
conversion camp in an attempt to cure her of her sexuality is based on the 2012 novel of the same name by Emily M. Danforth.
Oh, wait, I did hear about this.
You are
Yeah.
especially vulnerable to evil.
It stars the brilliant Chloe Grace Moretz in the title role, and was originally screened at Sundance back in January, where it won the festival's prestigious Grand Jury Prize.
You're facing the consequences of your actions.
Whoa,
It's
she does
ugly.
gay
Its
stuff.
box office take is very underwhelming. Despite its lack of a paying audience, it's a movie that deserves to be seen. Not only for its
Nice.
well-told story, 90s nostalgia, and wit, but also for its beautiful and timely themes on bravery, optimism, and acceptance.
I'm tired of feeling
cool.
disgusted with myself.
It's actually rated PG-13 for thematic elements
Number 9.
and gay stuff.
Leave No Trace. You know those films that catapult young actors into the spotlight?
Ben Foster.
Leave No Trace will do that for Thomasin McKenzie. Like Cameron Post, Leave No Trace debuted at Sundance before receiving a limited release to theaters in the summer.
Who taught you how to read?
My dad teaches me.
You're actually quite a bit ahead of where you need to be.
It tells the story of an Iraq veteran suffering from PTSD who attempts to maintain his rural, hermetic existence with his young teen daughter.
Was your dad in the service?
He was.
Do you feel safe living with your dad?
We didn't need to be rescued.
Both Ben Foster and Thomasin McKenzie are mesmerizing in the lead roles, with the latter receiving immense amounts of praise. The film currently sits at 100% on Rotten
Wow.
Tomatoes
Never heard
with
of this
185
at all.
reviews, making it
No.
one of the best reviewed movies on the
185
site.
reviews?
Award
What is
season,
this
This
movie?
one might be gobbling them up.
I think it might be easier on us if we try to adapt.
We're wearing their clothes, we're in their house, we're eating their food, we're doing their work. We have adapted.
Number 8. Don't worry, he won't
I
get
did
far
want to see
on
this.
foot.
Yeah.
My name's John, I'm an alcoholic.
Gus Van Sant's biopic tells the real story of John Callahan, an alcoholic, quadriplegic, award-winning cartoonist in the Pacific Northwest, who channeled his frustrations and unique sense of black humor to draw brilliantly provocative and edgy newspaper cartoons. The amazing cast includes megastars Joaquin Phoenix, Jonah Hill, Rooney Mara, and Jack Black. And the
that's
film
right.
deftly balances moments of sweetness, pathos, and incredibly funny yet incredibly dark humor.
You draw this?
Yeah. You get it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry, boys. You won't get far on foot.
It may not be for everyone, especially considering its difficult subject matter and divisive sense of humor. But for those who do enjoy a good dark comedy, this movie is a must-see.
Well, it's just a cartoon and they're just supposed to be funny.
Number 7. Searching.
Oh, I heard
Another movie
amazing.
that debuted at
This is
Sundance,
this is like
thriller follows a man
the
desperately
movie I
attempting
was supposed to
find his
watch.
missing
I really
16-year-old
wanna
daughter.
go find this
And it's
place to
told
see this.
entirely through computer and phone screens.
I'm calling to report a missing person.
Okay, who is this regarding? My daughter.
You may be wary of the cinematic approach,
Deborah Messing.
but Searching is arguably the first movie to use it and come up with legitimately thrilling, inventive results. None of this would be doable without a committed actor, and the versatile cult favorite John Cho is up to the challenge, crafting
Harold.
a believable and relatable
Hey.
character.
My daughter
He played
is in a
Sulu.
lesson with you right now.
Canceled her classes 6 months ago.
And 3.
She's been transferring funds for the last 6 months.
We wouldn't quite call it the future of movies, but searching proves that you can indeed craft a great movie out of this style of
Was
filmmaking.
intense.
Yeah.
Seriously, the trailer.
Send my daughter in there.
I didn't know my daughter.
Number 6. Won't You Be
And
My
this one
Neighbor?
too.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood
Sure,
is one of
8th
the
grade
most
is on this
iconic
list as well.
TV programs of all time. And Fred Rogers, one of the most widely beloved TV stars.
I give an expression of care every day to each child.
This documentary honors his life, work, and legacy, and then some. It paints a picture of a beloved and radical, yet complex man. It isn't afraid to highlight Rogers' imperfections, and it's all the more honest and therefore stronger for it.
Hello there. Hello, everybody.
It also beautifully highlights what made Rogers such an incredible human being and influential figure for generations of children and adults alike. This is required viewing for everyone, whether you watched Rogers or not. Oh, and make sure you have a box of tissues. You're gonna need it.
When I was a boy and I would hear about something scary, my mother would tell us, always look for the people who are helping. You'll always find somebody who's trying to help.
Number 5,
Whenever I see footage of that movie, I want to
This was a
cry.
movie nearly 10 years in the making. Screenwriters Raphael Casal and David Diggs of Hamilton fame began writing the
So
movie
many
9
of my
years ago,
friends told
before the
me
longtime
that
friend schedule
this is
finally
the
allowed
best
them
out
to
of the,
complete it in 2017.
like, Black Lives Matter kind of movies.
Yeah. I think JT said his favorite.
Don't tell me about it.
The movie blurs the line between realism and comic absurdity by detailing many facets of modern African-American life and culture in Oakland, California, through the eyes of a parolee who witnesses a police shooting. It wades into topical themes like gentrification and police brutality, while deftly balancing hard-hitting drama, social commentary, and lighthearted buddy comedy. And it succeeds on many, many levels.
Every time you come around, you monsters got me feeling like a monster in my own town.
Oh man. Is that Imagine
Number
Dragons?
4, 3 Identical Strangers.
Oh man.
Another remarkable
These are a
documentary
whole bunch of movies I've heard about that I did
Three
not
identical
catch.
triplets who were separated at birth and adopted
I
by
remember the
families
trailer
of
for this.
different
Oh my
economic
god,
levels.
it's 3 Gregs.
Working class, one middle class, and one
You're the
upper
fourth
class.
brother.
All of us just sat back and watched 3 separate lives becoming one.
The doc details how the children were raised and then subsequently discovered each other by happenstance when they were 19. It's an intense exploration of identity and the effects that upbringing and culture have on individuals. And then the story takes a turn, and things get even more bizarre and unbelievable. It's a real story that truly is stranger than fiction.
They liked the same things, and they had similar interests, but deep down, they were different.
Number 3, Black Klansman.
I saw
This is
something.
arguably the mainstream movie on this list. It's directed by the renowned Spike Lee and was released in over 1,500 theaters.
Yeah, well, Boots Riley hates this
Didn't
movie.
receive the attention we believe it deserved.
Doesn't deserve a place on this list.
Well, since you asked, I hate blacks. I hate Jews, Mexicans, and Irish.
The film tells the true story of Ron Stallworth, a black police officer who infiltrated the KKK in Colorado in the 1970s.
Colorado.
You asked too many questions.
Colorado's
You undercover or
spring.
something?
It's obviously a very topical film, as its release date coinciding with the 1-year anniversary of the Charlottesville rally can attest. However, it's not just a political movie. It's legitimately both hilarious and thrilling, contains great performances, and is filled with relevant observations about deep-rooted societal issues.
All my commentary is going to be about this one movie.
Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. That's us, Stallworth Brothers.
Number 2.
Yep, there it is.
How far Bo Burnham has come.
I actually
The
got
teen who once
tickets
uploaded
and
songs
had to
YouTube
return
has
them.
now created one of the most acclaimed movies of 2018. Gucci. 8th Grade was both written and directed by Burnham, and it explores a 13-year-old girl's final week of middle school. The underlying coming-of-age story and deep dive into school social life may be nothing new, but it's told with incredible sincerity and rawness, and its observations on mental health, confidence, and anxiety are utterly topical.
Don't be weird and quiet, because like, I look over at you and I think you're about to drive us into a tree or something, and then I get really freaked out, and then I can't text my friends. So just like, be quiet and drive, and don't look weird and sad.
Kids today are growing up in an age of overwhelming social media that no previous generation ever experienced. And 8th grade honestly looks at the effects this has on adolescents.
You deserve someone who can go through tough times and make themselves feel better with their advice and actually do the stuff they talk about.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
You guys, this is my band.
Sorry to bother you.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be number 1.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. They already showed an image from it earlier.
Did they?
I think so, yeah.
Dream that I wanted to
Like at the top.
I dreamt I saw my mother's.
I hadn't heard about this at all.
Felt like I was underwater, watching her. You know what they say about dreaming.
The darkness created genius.
Nobody could create emotions like McQueen.
Number 1.
There it is.
Let's be serious
I
here.
saw this one
He's
too.
turns to gold. Here,
Killing
he
the
plays
game right
Cash's
now.
Cash Green, a black telemarketer who puts on a stereotypical white voice to help his career.
As always, we'll be getting that out to you right away.
You're doing so good with the voice thing.
Holla, 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 holla.
As he climbs the corporate ladder and tastes success and wealth, his radical friends and co-workers protest that corporate culture. It was written and directed by first-timer Boots Riley, although he helms the screen here like a veteran.
I got promoted. I'm a power caller.
What did I sell?
They're not selling it, we selling. No, there's no amount of money that make me do that.
The movie is filled with fantastic performances and a highly surreal, ambitious filmmaking style that guarantees its place as one of 2018's most unique and original films. If this movie's any indication, Boots Riley will soon be one of Hollywood's most acclaimed creative minds.
You are awesome.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Oh yeah, I saw 2. What did I say? How many? I said I would see. I think I said
it was 2 or 3.
You said 2, right?
Yeah. You killed it, man.
Killed it, man.
You got to start predicting every one of these videos.
Yeah, how many I have seen, and I remember when I heard about the gay side of Chloe.
That was the working title for this movie before they decided to go back to the book.
I forget, we were doing some video where we started talking about Chloe Grace Moretz and how I loved her when she first debuted, and then lately she hasn't been that great.
Yeah.
And then everyone in the comments was like, well, clearly you didn't see the Miseducation at Cameron Post.
Dude, your
and
girl's
I was
on a
like,
comeback.
No. And it's obviously on this list because most people didn't see the Miseducation at Cameron Post.
So now if anybody gives you crap about it, you can just direct them to this list.
Yeah, be like, well, hey, most didn't actually see that movie, and I've never even seen a trailer or heard of it. There were already movies on here that I had heard a lot about from many people, but out of all the ones that this video has introduced me to, it's definitely this movie, Miseducation, that I want to see the most. Out of the ones that I haven't heard of already, that I already feel guilty about not having watched.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a Russell Crowe, Nicole Kidman movie coming out that's a very similar plot.
Like a gay conversion kind of thing?
Yeah, where at the end it's going to be about just be gay.
Yeah.
I know.
This is the new Deep Impact versus Armageddon, we're going to get a whole bunch of gay conversion movies at the same time. And it's topical,
Yeah, dude, it is very topical. The movie Searching, I'd heard a lot about this. I never saw the trailer, and now that I've seen footage and understand a little bit more about what they meant by found footage, I was like, I don't really want to see another found footage movie, no matter how good you guys are saying it is. But then seeing the different kind of approach and the style they take with it, this looks really intense and really good. And everyone's raves about the movie. John Cho, I feel like the guy's never really gotten his. You think about the Harold and Kumar duo? Both of those guys are so much more than just Harold and Kumar, but no one ever recognizes them for that.
And it's the immediate touchstone for both those dudes, even though they've done so much more stuff and are both pretty good actors. Especially John Cho is a good actor. And this movie, man, I'd heard the concept. I'd heard it's kind of cobbled together from different digital sources. Yeah, this is the first footage I've seen of it, and it really made me want to track it down and watch it, especially this month, because it's October.
Ashley Edner's in this movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm. She plays the little Asian girl.
She really got into character.
A friend of the girl in the movie.
Dude, keep a lookout.
Won't you be my neighbor? Yeah. If there's a movie on here that I feel the most guilty about not watching It's Won't You Be My Neighbor, because that is the most positive inducing movie I've heard.
Oh yeah, well, and just a blatant reminder of humanity and tolerance.
A lot of these movies seem very important. The consistent themes here are about acceptance and
Diversity.
being gay is okay and
being black is okay.
Being black is okay. Yeah, you know?
Maybe there are systematic problems in society we ought to address.
It's crazy to me how when I step out of this bubble I live in LA, I'm like, oh yeah, there are real problems out in this bubble.
There are pockets of the world that are not like it is around town, where you just see a bunch of different people coexisting.
Well, everyone that talks about Won't You Be My Neighbor talks about it in the sense of, this is a movie we need right now. This is a necessity. That's why I feel bad for not watching. Blindspotting is like my sister's favorite movie of the year.
I've heard nothing but great things.
People say it like meshes dark comedy and buddy comedy, and I've seen the trailer. I'm like, where's the funny in this exactly?
And
this
especially
looks so intense. What are you talking about?
Especially the clips they showed here. I hadn't seen the actual shooting sequence, and that just looked so, just crushing and intense and scary. Yeah, I'm just like, where is there going to be a potential for humor? Because this just seems like such a ripped out of the headlines thing. Like, where would you even put it?
The Three Identical Strangers. It's been like a crazy good year for documentaries, to which I have watched none.
But I wanted to watch a bunch. And yeah, I saw the trailer for this way back, and I am fascinated. And that thing at the end where they're like, it's this really heartwarming story about how like these three disparate brothers found each other, but then shit gets crazy. And I'm like, what is that about?
They all produced 3 identical babies.
So yeah, they each had triplets that are all identical, but their triplets all look identical to each other's triplets, and that they're not.
They made love to another set of triplets.
And they scattered those babies all around the world, and now they're on a project to see if they can get back to each other and form one mega family of identical people.
They all look like my cousins meets Lou Ferrigno.
Hey man, if you want to get a live action Hulk TV series going on, you'd be no shortage of doubles.
I think I want to star in, the scripted biopic of these guys. I want to play all 3 characters.
Do Eddie Murphy style. I like it.
Yeah, I'll turn it into a comedy. Black Klansman, I talked about this on Stardust. Black Klansman was a movie that very much moved me a lot. It's so funny how like Boots Riley's Sorry to Bother You it seems to be the most talked about indie film of the year in the circles I run in. And like he really ripped this movie apart. He wrote like a 3-page essay on why this movie he just doesn't like it.
Isn't with it.
I get that a lot of this is fictionalized. It seems to really push that this is a true story. But that being said, I still think the points hit home. Spike Lee is a very political guy. It has this nice wraparound in the end of what's going on today. Usually when a movie ends and they flash some footage or they do a text of here's what's going on in the world today.
Like the Post.
It's usually like, oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
When you watch this movie and then you see the 5 to 10 minutes of footage to cap this off, it terrifies. It was terrifying. This is a movie that has stuck with me. I just saw it so many weeks later, so I never shot a review for it. This was a very, I thought, impactful film, and Isaiah Washington's great. And Adam Driver is incredible in this movie. It's weird because it's called Black Klansman. Yet
you're about to say that Adam Driver steals the movie.
We were saying it, but he's the one who gets the most to do in the movie.
Black Klansman, aka white supporting actor.
But it makes sense because he's the one who's really put in the most dangerous of situations in the movies. That's why he gets the most chances to shine, where Isaiah gets a lot more subtlety to do.
8th grade.
8th grade. Bo Burnham is a big love for both John and I.
Yeah, man. First YouTuber I ever really committed to.
I just really wanted to watch it, and I did have tickets, but I forgot something had come up that we had to go to or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just don't have time to go. I definitely gonna watch this, and with the feeling of I should have watched this in the theaters. This commentary on social media, knowing that Bo Burnham's the best one to do that. Out of anyone I know who can make a good commentary on that, and Bo being my personal friend.
Yeah. When we were talking about the script for this movie, I mean, he really wanted to pack it with authentic, use of social media.
I was talking with my lady about how we have, our lives are really run by social media, and it's such a norm, and that there are kids who are born into this world. And then I started looking back, because we were born a little bit before the internet was, and it's not like when the internet was born, everyone just had Wi-Fi, you know?
Yeah,
like,
it took like 20 minutes to get online, and then it took even longer to load anything.
Beyond that, it's like we tend to go back to that joke of dial-up. Social media just wasn't a thing. And the most forgotten about social media platform, the first one that really, there were other ones, but the one that made the most impact was a thing called MySpace.
Yeah, that was...
And I feel like now more than ever, a MySpace movie would be so essential.
The
It's
Tom
so
biopic.
That was the time when we started manipulating how we formed ourselves on the internet and started using ways to hurt people, get back at them, who was on your top friends list, what you post about. I started thinking about, I can hate social media. And then I realized I am part of the generation that contributed to what has made what social media is today.
We were the test dummies that built this machine partly the way it is and made the demands that they supplied to us. And
I was a contribution. I participated in that. And I still do. You know?
Yeah, and it's funny because as I've gotten older, I've just naturally gravitated away from social media because there are a lot of things that are very unnatural about it. And like through the scope of a movie like that, I can't imagine what it would be like for a junior high schooler or an elementary schooler, you know, growing up with all this social media around, because, you know, kids aren't the friendliest people anyway when you're little even, and to have that mechanized and instantaneous too and like omnipotent is really kind of scary when you think about it.
#Dave.
Bo's great at breaking things down from a psychological, you know, emotional standpoint too.
So it's just kind of crazy to go, the thing I hate, I can really flash back and I can see when it happened.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was witness to what will forever change society.
Yeah. At the time you don't know. At the time you're just like, this is so cool. I post stuff. I'm getting likes.
It's crazy. Sorry to bother you. I don't love this movie as much as everyone else does. Like, it's a movie that sticks with you, and it's fucking weird. It's weird. It's a weird movie. You think when you see the trailer, you're in for just like a comedy with some social commentary. It's so much more than that. It's one of those movies I really appreciate it, and there's plenty of moments that I genuinely enjoy it, and I like it a lot. I just don't love it to the degree that it seems like a lot of people love it. I just have some like technical film issues with it in terms of like pacing in the first half especially, and getting a little bit more wrapped up in what it wants to talk about than just being pure about its character. I don't know. A lot of people will probably disagree with me on that.
I've heard a few people say that it does have some first film style edges on it, you know, that it's not like a pristine first film in some ways.
It gets, there are times where myself, the whole audience will go, what? Like, it's just like strange shit just starts happening.
Okay. See, I love a good dose of strange, and I'm really bummed I missed this in the theater, because I don't really know what to expect, because I've also heard that like it's stranger than even the trailer lets you on.
Very much so, yeah.
It's definitely had my curiosity all these months. Like, before the end of the year, I'm just gonna have to go plow through this list.
And I think Lakeith Stanfield's amazing in the film.
I love him.
I still think that if it got a Best Picture nomination, I'd be like, yeah, totally.
Good for
you. Yeah, I totally believe that. Yeah,
why not?
It's definitely worthy of that. Like, it's one of those films where I don't love it, but if other people do, I totally get why, and I would never try to sway someone in the other direction. If anything, I don't want to be swayed in that direction.
Yeah. Show me what you see.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, is there any movies that should have been on this list that you just happened to not catch? Well, you guys can subscribe to the Reject Nation, click that notification bell, check us out on Patreon, and make sure to check out Andrew Hayes' YouTube channel. It's fantastic stuff. I love the guy. You'll love him too.